think this army might be big enough to just clean it all up. And if they kill this base again for Rex, this is literally the only mining mineral patches she has. So it's not really an option to lose this base for the Zerg at this point. And Widowmine's even coming in. And the army is a little spread out for BenZel, so some potential good trades coming in. The Widowmine does get pulled onto a single drone and actually able to push through this army, but again, that base went down. And there's a nuke on Chumley's only real mining base remaining as well. I don't think he's seen it. And indeed, he's not. We'll see if he sees the second one as well. I'm not taking that gold base, though. It's very painful. The drop into the main base should be able to clean up the Spire and everything before the Zerg really can pull back all this way.
Yeah, so
and with some Liberators, might be extra painful. And it looks like they might just not even try at the same time as well.
Yeah,
maybe going to try and make a counter push, but I just don't think they have a big enough army to really base trade here. Especially against, don't base trade against the Terran, but really don't base trade against two of them. Especially when one of them has BCs. Battlecruisers are a very, very, very strong base trade unit, if it even does come down to that, but I don't think it really will. No, it doesn't look like there's any tank. There are a couple tanks. MiZel has actually kind of stuck his own rally in his natural base. But just so many BCs. There's no Corruptors left, and just pure Marine. It's only +1/+1. It's not going to be enough to take down this many battlecruisers, and I think we will see a tap out from the blind leading the death here. And GG is called.
Exactly. He has to. He can't. If he really hates playing mech, stop playing slow. You gotta keep going, dude. Here it is.
And this extra Marauder count, they're a lot stronger against the tanks than the Marines. That Viking actually pulls the shot at the tank in the rear, which is very nice for him. And I think this tank is out of range of the tank of MiZel. Indeed it is, so he's got a full position on that third base once again. And a lot of Marauders now.
Units should be rallying in there if he wants to do this.
Yeah, it's this moment right here, really, where you have the time to F2, does move him up. But this is the thing. This is what you see with the mech player as well is... Oh, and actually he's got vision on this tank, so we'll be able to kill it as well. But yeah. MiZel is slowly pulling more and more units away from his natural to his third base. Which means ideally Ghostchant should hit the natural next, because there's really not very many tanks there anymore. Because he's just pulled more and more tanks. And yeah, indeed he is hitting that natural. I think if you literally just drop in the back of the natural, you kill like every SCV, you get a tank sieged up there. A lot of times they have, like depots and things like that you can see there.
The move. Although this is
but I think MiZel scanned. It is, but MiZel has a paltry force as well. 37 army supply in total. So I think it's okay. It was more when MiZel's... Yeah, it's more when MiZel's maxed out and you're going in with a force this size that it's not a good idea. But in these small fights, another 22 SCVs. Great trade here, even if you lose all these units. And he will even kill another tank as well. So great stuff out of Ghostchant. Here he's up. Double the supply again. And MiZel, I mean, because I feel like he's taking the fourth too early. You just don't have the units to defend 4 bases. That's the thing with mech, is you can't let yourself get spread too thin.
Exactly.
Or else you're going to be in a really bad spot, and trying to defend all 4 of these bases is just too much space. There's not enough units.
Two-prong attack here for Ghostchant, which I love.
Yes, and there's no tanks here. I think both of these attacks are going to work, actually, which is when you know it's really bad in the game, is when your smaller force and your bigger force both win their fights. That's when it's going really well for you.
Oh, so many workers go down. And he kills the base!
Yeah, looking good. Yeah, in the words of Bilbo Baggins, MiZel feels, like butter scraped over too much bread. There's just not enough units to cover the amount of territory he's trying to possess in this game. And so, Ghostchant, I like the addition of Marauders. We didn't really see that in the last game. It did so well against the tanks, especially in this low supply scenario. And now it's 40 supply to 147, even with his opponent. And mech is efficient, but it's not that efficient. Oh, okay. There we go. Like the Fenrirs of old, the Doom drop into the main base to finish things off. And we'll drop on top of the single. Oh, it's unsieging the tank on sieges. The one in the back does siege, though, but I'm just not sure it's going to be enough. The tanks will be able to siege on the production, and just like that, MiZel's chances at this finals. KJ, you can give yourself a little pat on the back. You've done it. Your casting has caused Ghostchant to win, and GG.
Well, that was a surprise.
Got range on the way for both players. Or not all three players, I guess. Two of the three players, and more Stargates coming down for all sides. We'll see the Hydralisk, so knows the army composition.
So yeah, regrets hiding the majority. He just wanted to show a few Hydras.
And again, this here, it's like they should really share control here. And just have one player control the Phoenix, because they're kind of just one player goes in and the other goes out. I mean, with MiZel's ping, you got to imagine by the time he's heard go in, Maligan's already pulling back, and so it kind of just shuffles in and out a little bit.
But if you notice, Regret didn't help till the very end there with only a few Hydras, so I thought he was hiding him.
The third's a little bit safer, but then you go to the fourth to get the gold minerals.
Yeah.
But still, only 58 workers. They got to get a lot of damage done here. But they are hitting right before the carriers are really going to start hitting for MiZel, or for Maligan, I should say. There's 3 carriers on the way, but they're less than halfway done.
You know, this is dangerous time for BenZel here. This is a scary force. Banelings galore.
This looks like like just a complete victory for codayo, I want to say. It doesn't matter if they win the Phoenix battle. There's nothing
AOE.
that can test these Hydras.
Yeah, no AoE. They've forgotten that, you know, the other team can go Hydras. They got blindsided. They're probably thinking all air. But you forgot the basics of PvZ, which is you gotta have AoE.
Absolutely. So they do lose 2 bases each. I mean, I do feel this is a move that really has to kind of kill here. Because if you don't kill them, and they're on 2 bases each, but they have carriers, and you're barely on a 3-base economy, it's not going to go great for you. But I think they are going to be able to kill here. I mean, there's just not enough Phoenix to lift everything. Void Ray's now coming in as well, and the carrier's falling. A good try out of the BenZel boys, but I just think it's going to be a little bit too much.
They forgot. I think they forgot that they need AoE. And they got
or
by the
I mean, for MiZel, the Terran player, he may have never known.
Well, and that's on Maligan's call, right? He do that call.
And that's what they did here was similar to the tortoise and the hare, but that's the one thing we see a lot is Hyper Turtles always trying to get some form of splash damage to cover for this kind of thing for War Bunnies. But GG's called. Swinging the right side, but he's not bringing the tanks. The tanks really help anchor against those Colossi. I also think both players really should have been trying to get the watchtowers a little bit more on this map in particular. Similar to 2000 Atmospheres, having the watchtowers is really, really helpful. He's going to try and get the base, but I think it's not enough to do so. Yeah, we'll be able to clean up all of this. Blinks underneath. He is coming in from the top side now, and this would be good, but he doesn't have any tanks with the army, so catching the Colossi out of position doesn't provide you that much value here. Because you're not, what are you sieging, right? It's you don't have any mines, you don't have any tanks. We'll be able to depower some of the production. It kills the Raven, as it got F2'd, I think. But here it's like, how does this army fight these Colossi? Now it's triple Colossi against 1 Viking left and no medevacs. And yeah, I mean, you can see the army supply is falling heavily for MiZel.
Oh, man. You know, I think the one mistake is, you know, it's a one-way trip with Blink Stalkers when you went to the left to try to kill this base. And so
Absolutely. And just not having medevacs, I don't know why he's been so delayed on the medevacs. I feel like even against Colossi, medevacs are more important than Vikings, up to a point. Once you have like 4 or 5, it's fine, but every stim costs you so much in that scenario. I believe Marauders as well, it costs 10 HP instead of 5 to stim. So it's a lot of your health, and if you don't have medevacs to replace Templar. EMP has the ability to deal like 400 damage. Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, EMP has the ability to do like 400 shields damage in 1 EMP to a Protoss army, so it's not just the energy. If they don't have Colossi and Disruptors, Ghosts are extremely potent. But anyways, we are trying to siege up with libs. I think the liberators are a little too early as well. Does get a big EMP off, but I think there's one storm still available, maybe? Nope, does get EMP as well.
Oh my gosh, guys. Honestly,
I don't know what's going on with this fight.
How bad the fights have gone for MiZeL, he's still in the game. That just tells you.
Yeah, Instability really needs to get out of here. I think you push north to the 4th base there. Once you like break the Liberator and stuff, you don't push farther into where the army is. Oh, and Instability, man. She's going up to 20 gateways. And 3 Stargates.
Yes.
Granted, a lot of these gateways are at the front, so we'll see how that goes out for her. I don't think there's enough Liberators here to deal with the +3 Stalkers. Those just absolutely shred unarmored Liberators. And even the Widow Mine's getting taken out. The nuke is literally on top of the Ghost itself. I mean, even if she pushes in there, I think she can just kill the Ghost herself. Okay. Good patience out of Instability. I mean, she is only 160 supply. Yeah, that would be all over the papers for a week to come. Did need to see that. He doesn't have Cloak, though, so she will be able to just outright see the Ghost if she looks for it.
She's busy.
She is busy, but also I feel like taking care of 20 workers of Instabilities would be doing her a favor at this point. Storms are massive. There's no EMPs available. 15 workers go down, but like I said, she was on 91. I think that's just doing her a favor. She didn't need that many workers at this point with 10,000 minerals in the bank. That's much better used as army supply at this point, but pushing through this might just be the game. I mean, there are tanks here, but there's not a whole lot of them.
I think he should have landed the Vikings because there's tanks in the...
Oh, he tries to EMP, misses slightly. That's true, but they're all so damaged. I just don't know that's going to make enough of a difference. And yeah,
there's 20
gateways. That's just instant 40 supply army advantage that wasn't there 2 seconds ago.
And as you said, that's the differential. 40-something supply, 50 now.
Yeah, I mean, MiZeL did a... It's weird. It's like MiZeL did a good job of coming back. He did a good job of keeping pace with the splash damage types. You know, getting out Ghosts when he needed it, getting out Mines when he needed it, getting out Vikings when he needed it. But in a lot of ways, this game has only gone on because Instability literally... I mean, she's pushing in and killing the Terraners on 6 bases, and she has not scouted 3 of those 6 bases at any point in the game. Yeah, which is wild. I've not seen that.
You don't have any bases. I'm winning this game. Like, actually, the guy has other bases.
He has a lot of bases, but GG, she does win it.
I'll tell you this. MiZeL had a great chance to win twice. In the first push, if he had taken his tanks and mines.